Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Sorry for the late uploads, but we are trying to get regular in today's video. We are going to talk about the 10 worst superhero movies of all time, according to Reddit. Now look, for the last decade or so, we have truly been living in the age of the superhero. Comic book characters dominate the box office and culture, and superhero movies make for the biggest spectacles at the Cineplex. That said, the genre is not without its stinkers. For every Dark Knight, there's a Catwoman. On Our Movies, the largest film subreddit, Redditors got together to discuss which superhero movies are the worst of all. These films squandered great source material, took beloved characters in an absurd new direction, and remain sore points for many disappointed fans. So know that being said, let's get started. Coming at number 10, it is X-Men: The Last Stand, 2006. In The Last Stand, the mutants face a new threat, a cure for mutancy. At the same time, the X-Men must unite to thwart the resurgence of Phoenix, Famke Janssen, who poses a grave danger to both mutants and humans. It's an intriguing premise, and the cast is certainly stacked with star power, but The Last Stand remains the weakest entry in the franchise. When your movie is so bad that the studio makes another movie for the chief purpose of having the characters go back, and time to stop your movie ever from existing, you it up, said user IamTheGram. Plus, being the worst film in a series containing X-Men origins, Wolverine, that's quite an achievement. Coming at number 9, The Punisher, 2004. Frank Castle, Thomas Jane, a former FBI agent, becomes a vigilante known as the Punisher after his family is murdered by a crime lord. Fueled by revenge, Castle wages a one-man war against the criminal underworld, employing his tactical prowess to take down those responsible. The Punisher received more positive reviews than the other movies on this list, but one Redditor couldn't stand it. "I felt like it was more of a Death Wish wannabe than an actual Punisher film," the user said. Frank elaborately going after and killing those responsible for his family's death is an awful idea for a full movie. Also, I found Thomas Jane to be dull as Frank, and that's not even getting into the slapstick side characters and underbaked love interest. Coming number 8, it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 2014. Now don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the film, but the Michael Bay-produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was another superhero movie that disappointed most fans. It's decidedly half-baked, with some seriously shoddy performances and a lackluster script. Much criticism was also directed at the lack of characterization given to the turtles. "What a waste of energy," said user W3HS, "one of the only movies that has ever caused me to fall asleep from boredom. TMNT looked great and had fun action, but the writing on every level but the turtles was poor." Director Jonathan Liebesman just needs to get a project that's written right, another user said. Now coming at number 7, it is Green Lantern, 2011. Ryan Reynolds went on to redeem himself with Deadpool, but there's no denying the mediocrity of Green Lantern. It's stale, overwrought, and above all, unfun. A major box office disappointment, the film made just $220 on a $200 budget. The Green Lantern was a huge all-fill by DC and Warner for being the first film in a shared cinematic universe that it ended up being retconned before any other films had even been released. They ended up sweeping it under the rug, said user IamTheGram. Now coming at number 6, it is Elektra, 2005. This Daredevil spin-off centers on the titular assassin, Jennifer Garner, after a near-death experience. Employed to eliminate a young girl with extraordinary abilities, Elektra's mission takes an unexpected turn as she forms a bond with her target and becomes a protector. Garner is decent in the part, but the script is cliched and reads like a distillation of all the worst trends in mid-2000s superhero films. "Even as a kid I thought it was garbage," said user L Etherface. Elektra was such a flop that film critic Scott Mendelson said that Garner's career never quite recovered. She's set to reprise the role in Deadpool 3, which hopefully gives the character some kind of redemption. Coming at number 5, it is Jonah Hex, 2010. Josh Brolin stars here as the titular bounty hunter with a haunted past and the ability to communicate with the dead. Set in the post-Civil War era, Hex is approached by the U.S. military to stop a terrorist named Quentin Turnbull, John Malkovich. The character of Hex had appeared in DC Comics since the 70s, so many fans had high hopes for the movie. While Jonah Hex has some interesting ideas and talented supporting actors like Michael Fassbender, Will Arnett, and Michael Shannon, none of it ever quite comes together. "That Jonah Hex movie was trash," said Redditor Jeans. "Such a good casting of Brolin gone to waste." Coming at number 4, it is The Spirit, 2008. Frank Miller directed this adaptation of the Will Eisner comic, with Gabriel Macht in the role of Denny Colt, a former cop who returns from the dead as a masked vigilante known as the Spirit. Set in a stylized noir world, the film follows the Spirit's battle against his arch-nemesis, the Octopus, Samuel L. Jackson. "I remember seeing it and thinking it was the worst movie I had ever paid money to see at the cinema," said Redditor Tobafair. "It was almost saved by the visual style copy and pasted from Sin City, but the hilariously out-of-place product placement killed even that. Gabriel Macht is lucky nobody saw this, otherwise no one would be able to watch Suits with a straight face," said user Imthegram. Coming at number 3, it is Man-Thing, 2005. Man-Thing is a monster movie based on the Marvel Comics character. It centers on Sheriff Kyle Williams, Matthew LaNeves, who investigates mysterious disappearances in the swamp. The deaths turn out to be the work of a plant-like creature bound to protect the land. Man-Thing is a cult comic character, Marvel's answer to DC's Swamp Thing. Unfortunately, director Brett Leonard's adaptation does a disservice to the far more interesting source material. "That Man-Thing movie doesn't deserve to exist. It fails at everything, even at being a B-grade horror film," said user Genesis. Coming at number 2, it is Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, 1987. The Quest for Peace is notoriously awful and has been ranked as one of the worst movies of all time. It sees the Man of Steel, Christopher Reeve, taking up the issue of nuclear disarmament. He tosses a nuke into the sun, but in the process inadvertently creates a radioactive supervillain known as Nuclear Man, Mark Pillow. "It's the worst drop in quality in a movie series, second only to the Jaws movies," said user Rincewind 120. "The writing was dumbed down, the acting cartoonishly slapstick, and almost everyone in the movie knew it was going to bomb. A sad end to Christopher Reeve's Superman. He gave us the best and worst." Coming at number 1, it is Batman and Robin, 1997. Where do we start with this one? The nonsensical, non-stop ice puns, the ridiculous bat gadgets, the nipples on the bat suit. Let's be honest, it's all a little ridiculous. Still, though, it's hard to believe that a film starring George Clooney, Uma Thurman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Chris O'Donnell could tank as spectacularly as Batman and Robin. The film follows the story of Batman, Robin, and Batgirl as they have to take on the powerful villainous team of Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. After Batman Forever stripped away the dark and gritty elements of the franchise Tim Burton started, Batman and Robin leans further into the lighthearted campiness that director Joel Schumacher thought suited the franchise best. Unfortunately, in the case of this movie, it just didn't work. The film takes a notable nosedive too far into comedic hijinks that audiences of 1997 simply were not looking for out of Batman. It's no coincidence that the Batman film that followed this was Batman Begins, almost the complete opposite film, tonally from Batman and Robin. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and also please tell us in the comments which is the worst superhero film of them all, and also subscribe to our channel. Help us break 1 million subscribers, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.